Here's the finished version of a chalk pastel version of the Starry Night. Today I'm going to be talking about using chalk pastel to create my version of the Starry Night. I'm going to be using the chalk pastel in a painterly style, both of the colors that make up a color, in order to create some nice variety in my image. And always, as always, I can use black and white with any image and with any color scheme, because black and white is always part and helps to create a fully valued artwork. So some things to note about chalk pastel is that, just like sidewalk chalk that I'm sure you've used when you were younger, chalk pastel is a very messy substance. It's going to get on your fingers, it's going to get on your hands, it's probably going to get on your work surface. Some notes about tools to use with chalk pastel. You generally will want some kind of blending tool. I like to use cotton balls and Q-tips, and sometimes a Kleenex itself. Now, there are some people that say you should never ever touch chalk pastel with your fingers because of the oil in your hands, and generally that is, for the most part, true. You want to try to use a surface to do the majority of your work with chalk pastel, except for when you need lines. And when you need lines, that's when you want to pick it up. So I'm going to be showing today kind of the process that you would use utilizing this chalk pastel, going from your lightest colors to your darkest colors and filling those areas of your image first. When you're starting, you want to make sure that you are then using it in a light manner. So you'll see kind of how this builds up. So I'm going to start with my yellow-orange. So I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow and rub my Q-tip on there. And you'll notice that, I'm getting the color on the tip of the Q-tip. I'm not necessarily getting a whole ton of it, but that's okay. And then I'm going to do a little bit of rub on the orange, getting a little bit of that on there. And then I'm going to rub that onto my paper. And so you'll notice that you're not going to get super bright or vibrant colors. And that is kind of the beauty of chalk pastel, is that they build up slowly. And you'll get quite lovely shades, and they won't have a lot of line work or transitions in it, which is kind of nice. Now, one thing you will notice about chalk pastel, though, is just like in most dry drawing mediums, the pencil will show, especially in the lighter colors. If it's something that you don't want pencil lines on, you'll need to spend a little time erasing those pencil lines prior to trapping them underneath the chalk pastel. But unlike many other drawing mediums, chalk pastel is very easy to erase, and the pencil will not be totally trapped under it. There's no waxy surface like you have with colored pencils or with crayons. So it's pretty easy, if you forget to erase your pencil, to go back and get that back out. Now you'll notice as I'm working here that I have to go back very often to that original chalk pastel block and rub more. My Q-tip does not hold very much at a time.
When I'm ready to kind of add some line work in here, I could then pick up my tool, and I would then add short brush stroke like marks with perhaps multiple colors.
To do larger sections of color, if you don't want to use, a Q-tip, like say you're going to do this whole section, and it would take a long time, of course, to use a Q-tip for that whole section. That is the beauty of the larger cotton swab. And so this is what I would do. I would hold it in your hand like this, or if you have like a box or something, you can set it in, that's fine too. Hold your cotton swab in the other hand, and rub back and forth several times, like 7 or 8 times. And what you're looking for is you're looking for on the cotton ball for there to be color. If there's no color on here, you're obviously not going to have any color to rub on there. And that is a really great way of getting kind of a base tone or a base coat of some colors. So we're not working directly over white. We're instead working over a color that is part of our finished image. Now, if you have a blended color like this one, it does make a little bit of a difference which one you're putting down first. You know, if I do purple first, the finished color is going to appear to be much more purple than if I do red first. So it's almost making like a red purple and then a purple red purple as the two. You can also cover larger swaths of your image by using chalk pastel, especially if it's been broken and on its side. You can gently rub it across the surface of your image if you need to do much larger areas to add just sort of that base color, sort of using it side to side or up and down even. And if you're really gentle, you can even use the small end to get into small areas. But I would really caution you to just be super gentle with this. Otherwise, you'll end up with marks where you don't want them. And then you would use that cotton ball to help smooth that color out and give you that sort of base color tone. The final stage doing a chalk pastel drawing is to do a layer of color that will not be blended in, but will instead sit on the surface of your image as a kind of solid contrasting layer. This can be done with a single color or multiple colors in whichever area you feel needs. Now you'll notice that I just worked with black, and so I have black on my hands. Then I went to go work in these lighter areas, and now I'm smearing that color on those lighter areas. Be prepared to wash your hands. You can also use something like a tissue to set down on your paper so that when you're working and you're resting your hand on your paper to do more colors of whatever manner you're planning to add them, you're not going to be smearing or smudging anything. Now this will still pick up some, but it will help to prevent you from smearing your own hand across the surface. So this is how to do kind of a chalk pastel. I hope you've enjoyed this process.